So, a lot of updates on Quantum Leap, the reboot. So, let us get right to it. So, at this point in time, it looks like it will happen. It has moved from the pilot. It will become a series. They've even locked down a date in September. So, it is coming or should be coming in late September. They released a little bit of a teaser. It's not much. It really is just a few seconds, but something is better than nothing. And we see Ben, we see some explosions, we see the quantum leap effect, and we apparently see them on some kind of mission. So they have gotten started, they've already filmed some things, and some stuff is already finished. And as I hypothesized and speculated in the other videos, yes, this is the magic, the character we see within the main seasons of Quantum Leap. So people were asking, is this the same magic that we saw earlier? For those who don't know, that was the black soldier that essentially Sam leapt into to save his brother. And the answer is yes, this is that character.
Grace and Frankie's Ernie Hudson plays Herbert Magic Williams, the man at the helm of the highly confidential operation. He's a no-nonsense career military man who has to answer to his bosses, who won't be happy once they learn about the breach of protocol. Magic is also clearly an older version of a character Sam Beckett interacted with in Vietnam back in the day.
You are a Sigelman second class Herbert Williams, but your buddies all call you
Magic.
The rest of the team at headquarters includes Ian Wright, aka Cowboy.
So they do have tie-ins to the other seasons of Quantum Leap that preceded it. But is this canonical with the other seasons? It's unclear. They definitely do now have callbacks, and that is in the show. And Belisario is a part of this as well. So Don is here. He is producing at least this production to some extent. So they are having some tie-ins to the past, but how much this is going to work with the canon of the other seasons, we're going to have to wait and see. But apparently this is continuing the story into the future with the Quantum Leap program, and they're trying to figure out how the machine works. However, there is a very big change. Of course, we can get into the politics of the casting, and I will do videos on that, whether people think it's good, whether it's a bad idea. But in terms of mythology, they did make a critical divergence, and we're going to wait and see whether that makes a whole lot of sense, or whether that really will work with the show. Essentially, before, when Sam did the project, as far as I can remember, his body was not really in danger. He wanted to go back home, but they didn't really have like a ticking time clock. But they're introducing that. Apparently, when Ben decided to leap, they have the danger that he will be lost. So it's not just he wants to go back, they need him to come back because his life may be in danger. I realize that to sort of pump up viewers, they want to raise the stakes, make it more dramatic. But again, that's not what Quantum Leap was. We didn't really know fully how the leaping worked for at least a lot of the seasons. We just had to accept he kept doing these leaps. Why the leaps happened, didn't really know. It seemed chaotic. And Sam just went on these adventures and missions. He tried to do what he could, then he leapt out. The basic format seemed very simple and plain. But now they're kind of adding this kind of more espionage, action thriller element where he has to go back home within a certain time period. That really never happened in the original series as far as I can remember. So I don't know. Why are they making that change? And I got to be honest, although the footage does seem impressive in certain ways, and I do think the cast makes sense for the most part, the quantum leap effect looked really silly and stupid. It just didn't look as good as the other one. I assume this has to do with copyright and trademark. They can't just use the old quantum leap effect, but the old one seemed fine, so I don't know why they're going to change things. And it does seem they're keeping the basic premise, right? He will be Sam, and the new female character will be essentially Al, and she's going to be helping him out as a hologram, and so on and so forth. So the basic structure is the same. They have added a few new twists and turns. Is this all going to make sense at the end? I do feel this is going a little bit too close to Knight Rider. I loved Knight Rider. I had no issue with Knight Rider, but Knight Rider was Knight Rider and Quantum Leap was Quantum Leap. But here they're kind of merging all the mythologies a little bit too closely in my eyes. And I got to be honest, I did try the new Knight Rider for a while. The episodes seemed fine, but it just wasn't the classics style, and I just didn't like it that much. It was fine for what it was, but it just seemed generic. New Michael, new car, new adventures, and there we are. But I think they missed the point of what made Knight Rider work was the specific chemistry between, again, that version of Michael Knight and that version of Kit. So we're going to have to wait and see whether they really fixed it with Quantum Leap. So far, it looks good, but I am nervous they are going to change the mythology a little bit too much to try to update it for a new young audience, where, again, the whole charm of the show was it was what it was. You sort of had to be comfortable with the vagueness of the science fiction, which I admit sometimes didn't make a whole lot of sense, but overall, it was enjoyable. It seemed fine when they confined it. But again, it did get a little bit more complicated and hairy as the seasons went on. And I understand trying to make it more sophisticated for a new audience. I just think, again, with any of these things, you want to, on balance, not change things too much. You want to still retain the older viewers as well, because a lot of them are clearly interested in where this is going to get going. So there we are with the teaser and the preview with Quantum Leap, the reboot. Is it going to work out? Well, it's coming. It's coming late September, so it's going to arrive if all things work out. Will it be any good? I don't know. It's a different landscape. Before you had so many episodes per season for television and different time period, different expectations. People now seem to really want things right out of the gate to really work. So I don't know if we have to be patient with this one, but it does look okay, except for the quantum leap effect, and they are keeping the basic structure. But beyond that, I'd hesitate to give a recommendation at this point. We're gonna have to wait for a lot more information to come in, whether this is basically just ripping off the Avengers and this version of Magic is just gonna be Nick Fury, or it's gonna be kind of a Knight Rider ripoff. We're gonna have to wait and see. I hope it's not. I hope they do keep mostly to the old premises, but we're gonna have to wait and see.